Good evening. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Natasha Jog. On the programme, the big story. BJP sweeps Delhi polls. Time for Kejriwal to go back to the drawing board. That's what we're asking. Also coming up in around 40 odd minutes from now, our newsmakers of the evening. Meet Captain Shalini Singh, but we'll tell you why she's not just another beauty pageant winner. More on that in just a bit. But the big story, the BJP has retained by huge margins all three municipal corporations in Delhi for which elections were held on Sunday. The only contest today really was for a poor number 2 between Arvind Kejriwal's Aadmi Party and the Congress. AAP gets that consolation prize, if you want to call it that, with the Congress third in all the municipalities. The Congress Delhi chief Ajay Maken has resigned, while AAP has alleged once again that rigged voting machines led to its rout.
A clean sweep by the Bharatiya Janata Party. They have won the Delhi municipal polls by a huge margin, beating Arvind Kejriwal's Aadmi Party and the Congress. The local polls, contested like assembly elections, gave the BJP back the corporation that they have controlled for the past 10 years. The final tally, the BJP across all three MCD wards won 182 out of 270 seats. Kejriwal's Aadmi Party came in a poor second with 47 seats, while the Congress got barely 30. Significantly, to beat anti-incumbency, the BJP put forward new faces in 267 of the total 272 seats.
नकारात्मक राजनीति नहीं चलेगी, बहानेबाजी की राजनीति नहीं चलेगी.
As the BJP celebrated, the Aadmi Party, facing political uncertainty, repeated their allegation that the EVMs or the electronic voting machines were rigged to help the BJP win.
हमें पता है कि जब सच बोला जाता है तो सबसे पहले मजाक बनाया जाता है और लोकतंत्र को बचाने के लिए अब ईवीएम की लड़ाई लड़नी है.
The party, still reeling from its losses in Punjab and Goa, however, couldn't explain why the EVMs worked in the areas that the AAP had won.
These local elections have national implications, with AAP virtually staring at a wipeout in Delhi.
The Congress party, a poor third, saw a slew of resignations.
कि अगर जो मेरी उम्मीद थी वो पूरी नहीं हो पाई, लिहाजा मैंने तय किया है कि मैं अपने पद से इस्तीफा दूंगा.
But there is definitely, one would say, that they are winning one state and one this thing or the other.
With these results, the BJP has sidelined yet another political opposition. The insult of just 3 MLAs in Delhi Assembly forgotten, and the Modi Amit Shah Vijay Rath intact. But where does it leave the people of Delhi?
An NDTV bureau report.
Well, let me introduce my panel to you right away. I spoke earlier with Dr. Harshvardhan, Union Minister for Science and Technology, and a BJP leader, Yogendra Yadav, co-founder Swaraj Abhiyan, someone who contested these elections, also been with the Aadmi Party till a few years ago, also with us. Nalin Kohli, spokesperson of the BJP, Sharmishta Mukherjee, Congress spokesperson, Aarti Jairat, senior journalist with us, and we'll also be joined by Atishi Marlena, spokesperson for the Aadmi Party in just a bit. But going back to that interview with Dr. Harshvardhan, I began by asking him if the results were on track as they had expected, the party's predictions, or better.
Thank you so much for your good wishes, and I think this is on expected lines. We did not have any doubt about the result and its quality. It is exactly what we had predicted, and this is what I saw when I was campaigning extensively for this election, that there was a very, very positive response from the people of Delhi, and they at any cost wanted BJP back in Delhi. In fact, we had been in Delhi for last 10 years in corporation, and people had a very, very positive mood. They wanted Modi ji's policies to be continued in Delhi, and they wanted to give him strength so that he can fulfill his dream of taking the country forward, and also take the capital also along with him forward in a very, very positive mode. So it was all expected, I think.
Right, this was one civic election that really felt like a national one. It was just so shrill. Many are saying that the vote, of course, on the back of that emphatic win that you had in Uttar Pradesh, a vote also that you got in the Prime Minister's name, and had very little to do with Delhi or the problems it faces, or even your performance at the MCD.
I don't think so. You see, I will agree with you to certain extent, in the sense that, you see, today it is not that we talk about Modi ji or what he has done for the country. When we go to the people, before us, people start talking about Modi ji's achievements, and they have a strong respect for him and a real, I would say, dedication and commitment for him and his policies, and they want to support him under every circumstance. This is what we have felt from the people. This is not that we only propagate that. But as far as the other aspect of your question says, I think in Delhi it was a multiple factors which contributed to this win. Of course, Modi ji's great work at the center for the last 3 years. Then, of course, 10 years we have done quite well in corporation, although people say nothing has been done, and I think that's not fair for many of those who are commenting like that. In almost every field which is relevant, whether it is health or education, environment, horticulture, you can say, improving transparency,
I take your point,
etc., etc.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I take your point there, sir. I will get into the performance there. There have been concerns, corruption, of course, a big concern in the MCD, but there are many who are talking about the future of Arvind Kejriwal. Some even saying, not quite privately now, that he should step down. Would you have a view on that?
You see, I will not say step down immediately, because this is something which is something for which he has to decide himself. He has to take a call on that. But I would certainly advise him as a friend also that he should really be introspecting very, very honestly. You see, politics is not about only politicking. Once you are elected to power, you are at the helm of affairs. Your prime duty is to serve the people, to think impartially about the people, and then only you get bipartisan support. But he is always thinking on political lines, and there is hardly any development that has taken place in last 2 years. Almost all the promises that he made to the people of Delhi, they have all been forgotten. And now, even after this humiliating defeat, he is cursing the EVMs. Which I think which is most unfortunate. He forgets that these are the EVMs which gave him 67 seats out of 70.
All right. Coming back to the BJP's performance, there have been serious concerns of poor performance, underperformance. That's, of course, one reason why you had to change so many of those faces, 267 new faces out of 272. Very serious concerns about corruption and all of that. How would you respond to all of that?
Thank you so much for your good wishes, and I think this is on expected lines. We did not have any doubt about the result and its quality. It is exactly what we had predicted.
Okay, on a different note, sir, you know, we've seen the opposition there talk about unity. You know, the Congress has mentioned that. Sharad Yadav, Sonia Gandhi's been meeting a whole host of opposition leaders, including Sharad Yadav, who's also brought up this issue of opposition unity. Would you have a view on this?
You see, I will not like to comment on what they plan or intend to do. I can only say that Modi ji is probably the most respected politician of the country today, because of the honesty and sincerity at the core of his heart, with which he is trying to serve India and its people, and more particularly the poor of this country, the farmers of this country, the laborers of this country, the women of this country, the youth of this country. And I think the others are miles and miles away from him. We are not worried or bothered about anything about opposition unity. Let them do whatever they want to do. As far as we are concerned, under Modi ji's leadership, we will try to perform honestly with dignity, and keep on serving the people of India. And I am sure that people have appreciated this. You have seen this in last 3 years. We have seen this after demonetization. There was so much of hue and cry which was made by the opposition in parliament and other places, but you then saw what happened in UP and other places. People love Modi because he is very sincere and very true and very honest in ensuring, and he really wants to change India. He really wants to give India another new India by 2022. That is the feeling from the core of his heart. And that is what I think, as long as we are sincere and honest about our feelings, we don't bother about what the opposition is thinking and planning about.
Okay, perhaps there is, of course, a lot of substance in what you say. There's no need to bother the point that you made that Prime Minister Modi is in a position where he is almost no contest. You're also talking about 2022 and interestingly not 2019. So we've already sort of passed that as far as you're concerned. But thanks very much, sir, for taking our time to speak to us this evening. Well, let me just start off with my panel right away. Atishi Marlena, spokesperson of the Aadmi Party, with us. Atishi, thanks for being on the program. Whichever way you look at it, Atishi, this is a huge setback for the party and for Arvind Kejriwal in particular, wouldn't you say?
See, of course, Natasha, it's a disappointment. We would have liked to win the MCD elections, partly because Delhi is such a divided house in terms of governance functions. Primary education is with the MCD, secondary education is with the Delhi government. Primary healthcare and preventive healthcare, public health is with the MCD, hospitals are with the Delhi government. So I think that it would have made sense to have a unified government, but be that as it may, we wish BJP all the best. Second, in terms of is it a setback for Arvind Kejriwal? I think this is politics. Elections happen, people win, people lose. Sheila Dikshit was the chief minister for 3 terms in a row. She lost 2 MCD elections in between that. So I think that we are very much here in the Delhi government and we are here to serve the people of Delhi, and that is what we will continue to do.
Okay, I think the big difference is that, you know, Arvind Kejriwal stakes so much on that Punjab election. We saw what happened there, and now sort of the second big setback. But you're saying you don't believe that this is something that the party and Mr. Kejriwal in particular cannot overcome.
Absolutely not. We are still an extremely popular party within the eyes of the people of Delhi. There is many successful ventures that have been undertaken by the Delhi government, be it education, be it healthcare. And as I said, we are here to serve the people of Delhi and we shall continue to do so.
Okay. Sharmishta, come in here. You know, the Congress today at number 3. Many are saying this is now a slide into irrelevance, for want of a better phrase, for the party, and there seems to be just no ending this slide.
Well, let me tell you that firstly, we have doubled our vote share, and in a multi-party system, you know, the first past the post system, anybody getting the majority, of course, gets the simple majority, wins, get the seat. But the people's choice of Congress, which has doubled, you know, since like 2015, that was we hit the rock bottom. So now it's 18.1. And also from compared to 2000,
so you're better off,
yeah, right. We are better off definitely, and nobody has a magic wand. You know that from that we have started, and
critics
we have
would say you're clutching to straws.
No, it's not that at all. You see, you have to see it in context of a overall what has happened. You know, I think the greatest loser is AAP. You know, that is, they have completely failed in terms of winning the confidence, continuing with the confidence of people. You know, we are gaining back. We are slowly gaining back. We have done, you know, if you see in 2016, there were by-election in 13 wards. We won 5 out of that. Our vote share had reached 30. In the Rajouri Garden by-election, you know, we got 34% vote. AAP lost its deposit, you know, from 54% they had, you know, in the last election.
But you're still number 3 today.
We are number 3 in terms, but in politics it doesn't really happen like that. You know, you have to analyze it very
but how many more defeats can the party really stomach? That is the other big question.
It depends in our strength.
Okay.
The stronger you are, the more capable of accepting defeat. And we don't see it as a defeat. We also see that, you know, we have gained. Okay, let's put it like that.
Atishi, the Congress believes that the biggest loser is the Aam Aadmi Party. I'll get you to quickly respond to that.
I think that, as you said rightly, Natasha, Congress has effectively become irrelevant in the city of Delhi. And I think the people of Delhi realize that. This is the second major election in which they are third, and they are going into irrelevance. And I think that the people of Delhi also realize that voting for Congress is a waste of their vote.
Okay. Aarti, you know, on Friday, when we looked ahead at the voting on Sunday, one of the things that we spoke about was how Arvind Kejriwal's handled the Delhi election, how shrill it has been, and, you know, the run-up, a very combative chief minister, still perhaps to recover, like the point that you had made, from that loss in Punjab, and now this.
Yeah.
What next?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, Atishi is trying to play it down, but there is no question that this is a major blow for Aam Aadmi Party. And I mean, they are really going to have to go back to the drawing board to try and work out their, you know, their politics again. They came in on this promise of offering a different kind of politics, you know, an alternative politics, back to the people, grassroots, connected, you know. But somehow along the way, over the last 2 years, we've seen that connection with people really dry up. And certainly over the last 6-8 months, as Arvind Kejriwal and his team got busy with Punjab and Goa, you know, they completely ignored Delhi.
Delhi took a back seat, right?
Delhi took a back seat, and I think the people of Delhi felt it. And they were coming out with some really callous statements, like when the chikungunya, you know, epidemic struck last year. You know, they came out with some really callous statements, and this was not what people had expected from Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party should have realized it's an outlier, it's an anti-establishment party. At some point, the establishment is going to try and hit back at them. So they had to tread more carefully, and I think that they didn't. You know, they just got, you know, they just got too ambitious, too bold, and you know, maybe a bit too arrogant as well.
All right. I'm going to take that to you, Atishi, in a bit, but before that, I want to get Yogendra Yadav in, who said that this was a vote for the Prime Minister and not the Chief Minister. Many, after you made that comment, Yogendra Yadav, have been asking for Arvind Kejriwal to step down. Many, of course, also saying that this is the end of the road. Perhaps really too soon to write anyone's political obituary just at the moment. But do you believe that he should step down? How do you believe that the Aam Aadmi Party should handle this?
Natasha, before I comment on anyone else, it's only fair to acknowledge that we contested election, we contested more than 200 seats, and we did not win a single one of them. So obviously, we also failed to win people's confidence, and there's a lesson for us. People are saying, you may be new, you may have some ideas, you may possibly be good, but how do we trust you? That's a question we need to take back as well. And that's a similar question I had posed to Aam Aadmi Party leaders before the election. I do not believe that every election is a referendum on PM and CM, etc. But in this particular case, Aam Aadmi Party leadership went out of its way, Arvind Kejriwal went out of its way to make it a very personal referendum. And this is what took this election away from MCD issues. If this election were to take place on issues of municipal governance, my sense is that BJP would not have been able to win a single ward. It's been such an atrocious performance, something that you've hinted at in your interview as well, that BJP had no face. BJP could not have stood in this election. So the real big question we should be asking is, there was Modi wave 2 years ago as well, and he did not have to combat any anti-incumbency in Delhi. That's when Modi lost, Aam Aadmi Party won. Today, he has to deal with some anti-incumbency, and he has the similar wave. How come he wins today? What is the difference between February 2015 and April 2017? My only simple conclusion is that in 2015, it was Mr. Modi, popular Mr. Modi against the promise of Aam Aadmi Party. And today it's popular Mr. Modi against the performance, against the experience of Aam Aadmi Party. And the people of Delhi are minimally saying, we don't like what we have experienced. That should be the most obvious logical conclusion. But I was very happy to notice that Atishi did not mention EVM. And I do hope that Aam Aadmi Party may have changed its stance on that.
Though I'm hoping that she does, because I do have a question on that for her in just a minute. But just one moment, Mr. Yadav. Nalin Kohli coming here at this point. This, of course, many are saying that the in focus should have been the track record of the BJP with the civic body, with the MCD. But instead it was all about a vote in the name of the Prime Minister. Look at what happened in Uttar Pradesh and look at how we were voted there. That emphatic win there. And so the real issues just got sidetracked, and somehow nobody really talked about your track record. Many described it as rather dismal in the MCD. Nalin Kohli.
Well, I think we should leave it to the judgment of the voters, because if I take your question to its logical end, then it probably means that the voters of Delhi have made wrong. And I think that would be taking it a bit too far. So I think we'd begin by thanking the voters of Delhi, and we are proud to have in Prime Minister Modi not only a charismatic leader who enjoys this kind of credibility, and certainly if his agenda of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and good governance is being rewarded, that's something for the party to celebrate. It also means that when we get a repeat performance after 10 years, the responsibility is very high on us that we need to deliver. So therefore we are humility to victory that's come our way.